Hello everybody, welcome back to my second episode of Gunfight Analysis. This episode takes place on Shoreline after I spun the wheel, so I'm going to be using an AK for this run. The AK I'm using in this video is an AK-74N, modded with a Bravo scope, 60 rounder full of BS ammo, and a CMDR rail. Our raid begins behind the East Wing Resort. I pushed towards Rock Passage because most of the early game PvP is there, because squads are always going to be rushing the resort. That's exactly what happened this raid. In case you didn't catch that, here's what happened. We heard multiple footsteps running towards the direction of the resort. I take shots at the first player, killing him, and we see two more players running up the hill. We also hear running on the rocks, so we can safely assume that it's at least 4 players.
Готов нахуй!
My head has been blacked out, and I realize that I'm very vulnerable from the hill, so I move down the rock to isolate just the one player we hear under us. We kill the player and immediately heal while moving so that the rocks are protecting us. At this moment, the only information that we have is that there are 2 players on the hill at the resort, and we don't have visual on either of them. So we move behind the rock while we heal until we can make our next move. We're now ready to peek again. However, we're only going to expose the very top of our head so that we don't get picked off, because there's 2 players and exposing yourself to 1 is a whole lot safer than exposing yourself to 2. We start taking shots at the players, attempting to kill one of them and throw the last one into a panic. However, we run out of ammo in our magazine and decide that it's time to change positions. While changing our position to the other rock, we free look, run, and jump so we can avoid being shot and look for the other players. For a quick recap of what just happened, we pushed onto the second rock, scanning the horizon trying to see if we can see the players. We can't, so we move to a higher position, or at least we try to. We start taking shots and we immediately fall back so we can expose a little bit of our body instead of our entire body. We see 2 players. They see us and decide to prone, which was a big mistake from them. Proning puts you in a really bad position in most gunfights, especially at distance. This concludes Gunfight Analysis Part 2. Some of the takeaways for this video. Isolate players as best you can to avoid getting overwhelmed by gunfire. When fighting an enemy at range, don't prone. Change positions frequently to avoid being spotted, and make sure that when the other team is calling you out, their callouts are false. What I mean by this is if you kill somebody when you were at the rock and they die, they're going to tell their teammates, "I was shot from the rock." At that point, it's time for you to move and find a new position, because the team will be focused on that rock. You can pick off another one. Keep doing this until the entire team is dead. Thanks guys for staying with me for this long. If you learned something from this video, leave a like and consider subscribing if you want more of this content. That's all from me. See you later. Bye bye.